maybe sometimes it's a little bit weird to see something that look at you with different expression, with different feelings. So it's something that you have on you, but you cannot express. So, see, I think it's for that, you know. And here we have more than 5,000 masks, so it's strange sometimes, you know.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear. And this weak and idle theme no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend.
Greetings and welcome to Gravity from Above. This is Byrne Power, coming to you with a little bit of my trip to Florence, Italy in January. And might I add, January is the perfect time to visit, January or November, so you can avoid the crowds if you really want to see Florence, if you don't want to just pass through and take selfies. Well, I have different parts of this series, and they will all be connected. I have 5 different channels, and on 3 different channels, there will be various parts of my trip to Florence. But I'm putting them on each channel in their own little playlist. So if you just go into the channel page and go to playlists and just look for the one that says Florence, you'll get the whole story if you want it. Meanwhile, I would like to investigate a small hidden world that I found in Florence that I wasn't expecting, that I think will be of great interest to people who follow this channel, interested in things like puppetry, dance, masks, things like that. And that is precisely what we are going to find here, is the hidden world of Agostino Dessi, who is a mask maker in Florence. But before we get there, a reminder. It's here, rescued from Alaska. This year, my first ever book, 3 Motions. Motions is an old English word for puppet shows. Indeed, there are 3 puppet plays here written by myself for my Alaskan puppetry classes, including my versions of the medieval classic Everyman, cleverly entitled Every Puppet, and even better, my retelling of the Faust legend, updated for the 21st century, also very cleverly, with a special introductory essay on the meaning of puppetry. Now, are these 50-page booklets physically worth the $25 price? No. But this isn't about material possessions. This is about being part of this odd channel and whatever it is we're doing here, trying to understand things. And these little booklets are unique. Each one is numbered and signed by yours truly. When they sell out, they are gone. I will never reprint them. Special deals if you want multiple copies for a production of your own. Just let me know you're doing it. That's $25 for the USA, Canada, Mexico, most of Europe. There may be some corners, like, I don't know, Russia, etc., and might require some extra money, as would Asia, Latin America, and Africa, or Tonga, or Australia probably. I'll have to add another $5 or so, depending on where you're from. But part of the money goes to my assistants who are shipping these from me from their respective American and European locations. Use the links below, PayPal, GoFundMe, and make sure you add the word book, B-O-O-K, book, to let me know this is not just a normal contribution to the channel, which you can still make. This book will not last long. Help me keep the channel alive. I get no other funding except from you, the viewer. I don't get it from YouTube. I don't get sponsorships. It's up to you. If you appreciate what I do on this channel, get a book. It's a great way to remember what this channel was about, and it'll be something unique because they're all signed and numbered. So, I was in Florence for 2 weeks, and I specifically I went the first and second week of January this year, 2025. And I was very interested. I have some questions about the Renaissance that I was thinking about, but also I'm fascinated with history, and anyone who follows this channel knows I'm fascinated with puppetry. So I was walking with my Italian-Swiss friend, Jill, and we were on our way to meet another friend, a local Florentine, Gianluca, and he was going to meet us at his favorite place for getting bistecca alla Fiorentina, which is the Florentine steak, Florentine T-bone steak, about this thick. As we were walking there, we were walking along this one street that I had walked on before, a little out of the way. It wasn't exactly on the tourist trail, but I looked over and I saw a very interesting window. And the puppeteer in me immediately stopped and said, "Ooh, this looks like something I have to go back to." I didn't go there that night, but a couple of days after Jill left, I returned to what I realized was called Alice's Masks, or in Italian, Alice's Mask Studio. It was the afternoon. I had been to at least one museum during the day, but now I was just exploring around, but I remembered, this place I saw. And I went into the studio, and it was like entering a hidden world. And it really was a hidden world. All of the ceilings were hung with Venetian style and Commedia dell'Arte style masks. And all the walls were full of them, and there were chests full of them. And as I walked in, my jaw dropped, and I was just like, And I realized I had found someplace very, very special. This is the kind of thing I look for when I come to a city I haven't been to before, particularly in Europe. It's much harder to find these kind of things in my homeland, back in America. But when I entered, I saw there were two men in the back. They were older men, maybe around my age. I'm in my late 60s. And I saw them talking, and one of them spoke English. It wasn't the man behind the counter who was working on a mask. That was Agostino Dessi. But it was another man. His name escapes me, unfortunately, at the moment. But he spoke enough English, and truthfully, Agostino spoke a little bit of English too. And we had a very interesting conversation. I was really impressed by what he was doing. He said he had been working on masks in the same place since 1973. And we are a long way from 1973. So that means he's been there the whole time. Not only that, his daughter had been making masks for 25 years. She started when she was very young, and now had control of the studio where they make the masks. And this was just extremely fascinating to me. So what I did was I told him, well, look, I would like to do an interview with you for my Gravity from Above channel. And are you willing to do this? And he says, why, yes, he is. And he'll make sure his daughter is there. She speaks English quite well. So I left and was coming back on the day before I was going to leave Florence, which struck me as the perfect time to connect to the world of masks and puppets in Florence. Now, a word about Venetian masks. You've no doubt seen the Venetian Carnival mask, whether you saw the Bauta mask in Amadeus, the Milos Forman film, the father figure is wearing this Baute mask, very strange black kind of hat, robe, and kind of a strange sort of slant to the chin and mouth, so you could, I think, drink something underneath it. And there were other masks. Not only that, there were masks used for various Commedia dell'Arte characters, including, of course, Pulcinella, who eventually morphs into the puppet world as Polichinelle, or Punch, or Petrushka, Kasparek, and on and on and on. And so he had masks for all of these characters there, all of the Zani, all of the various servant characters in the Commedia dell'Arte. He also had Pinocchio masks, which of course were, had a very long nose and not super long, but come out about this far. As well as there were quite a few rabbit masks, which I thought was interesting, and many, many other things. So I was thinking about these. Interestingly enough, these creepy rabbit masks, they're not really creepy, but they're just very much, they suggest folklore. But they were used to creepy effect in the last version of Pet Sematary. A couple of years back, they remade that movie again using these rabbit-type masks and other animals. Also, back in the movie The Wicker Man, not the kind of terrible one with Nicolas Cage, but the one back in the 70s that's a classic, also had rabbit masks and other masks like this. So masks are very important in European culture, and particularly important in Italian culture. There are, of course, other masks made in other parts of Europe, particularly wherever they celebrate Carnival. So Basel has Maskmakers in Switzerland, and Zurich does as well. Wherever Carnival is celebrated with big parades and such, you have Maskmakers. But the origin of most of them comes from Venice. And according to Agostino Dessi, they come from not just Venice, but they started in Florence. So I came back, I met Alice, Alice for those of you who speak another language, and we had an interesting interview. And so what I'm going to do right now is play you that interview. It is part in Italian, part in English. Sometimes she translates what he says. Sometimes she doesn't. If you speak Italian, you'll be fine. If you speak English, you'll be fine. Sometimes you may go and, he'll just be talking, saying a few things. If you speak a bit of Spanish, you might understand what's being said, or even French. But I thought, rather than cut this up, let me give you what it was really like talking to them. And what was really fascinating to me was the entire time we were talking, they were making masks. They were working on them and finishing them. And I realized, I said to them at one point, do you do this all the time? Whenever you're talking, they go, yeah. And that's how they have a whole room full of masks. And while I was there, someone came and bought a mask. What did they buy? They bought I think it was a Zani mask, kind of a bird-like mask. And they bought that for, I think it was around 60 euros, which struck me as a good price. So, without any further hesitation, let's go into the shop, the studio, and talk with Agostino and Alice Dessi.
Potrebbe essere anche così in corto, vai avanti, sì.
Vabbè, si può correggere anche dopo, io non arrivo magari proprio...
No, ma va bene, anche se non è simmetria è perfetta, non c'è...
No, per fare qualcosa mentre parla, perché sennò mi viene...
Okay, so Agostino,
Senti? Lo senti bene?
when did you start to make masks?
Mettiamo il volume un po'. Ok.
Comunque ti ha chiesto quando hai cominciato a fare maschere e marionette.
Allora, I make it the mask marionette about more mask than marionette in reality. 1973, I make a mask in wood in Sardinia, where I come from.
Uh-huh.
This typical Sardinia, the typical mask in wood. Mammutones is the name. I make it the mask inspiration to the Mammutones Mammutones mask.
Did you have the Mammutones as part of your culture growing up? Was that-
Yes. Sì, fa parte della tua cultura, no? Il Mammutones.
Yes. For first time I come in Florence at 20 years for study sculpture in San Marco University.
Uh-huh.
I continued to make a mask in clay, first time clay and the paper mache. Paper, I use a newspaper because it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Time stay student, money, not many money, allora very comfortable to use a newspaper. My first experience is I make a mask for me, for decoration, at the same time friend use it for carnival in Venice. 1979, these times I had the occasion to work for the carnival.
That 1979 is when the carnival started using masks again?
Nel 79 hanno ricominciato a usarle al carnevale a Venezia, no? O nell'80?
79-18, because for long times in Venice stop to the carnival. It's a long story.
Yeah, well, it involves Napoleon and all of that. I understand. I've read.
Sì, l'ha letto, la conosce la storia.
La storia di Napoleone.
Sì.
Ok.
Aspetta che ti fa una domanda, papà, aspetta.
But masks were always being made during the period when they were prohibited by Napoleon up until 79. Yes?
Ne continuavano sempre a fare, no? Anche quando era proibito, non si festeggiavano, però si facevano.
No, in reality, the small square in Venice make one carnival for children. It's a rarity. Okay. Sometimes the big palace organization, the big party, the costumes, the extraordinary costume, but don't have so many artists making masks for long times in Venice. I remember 79-18. It's me and another one, 2 or 3, no more in Venice. 2 or 3 with botteghe like me in Florence, making masks for carnival. And the first work is the ricostruzione, the classical. Looking for a long time the painting from Pietro Longhi. Pietro Longhi make it so many paintings, the story, the carnival. Bauta, Pulcinella. Pulcinella from Tiepolo in reality. Bauta and Moretta. It's 3 different characters. I make this character, ricostruzione, the form. My idea is to make one paper a little bit flexible because people use it for non break. Allora non use never gesso, never plaster. Only paper and glue for this mask. The plaque doctor, everyone designed from Grovenblock, uno storico, ricostruzione della maschera del medico della peste. These times I use I'm very interested in Venice, the ricostruzione delle storiche mask.
Right. Yeah, the plague doctor was not a normal carnival mask ever. Was it Italian?
Sì, era italiano, no? Il dottore della peste.
Sì, certo.
Però non era una maschera tipica del carnevale.
No, era una maschera civile, used for
it was a civil mask for
the real problematic, like a COVID, peste,
Yeah,
la
exactly.
peste. Yeah.
Exactly.
Slowly every occasion to incontrare the people working in teatro. Allora the first occasion making mask for, I remember one group in Rimini, Claudio Gasparotto is in Rimini, is one attore, want to make it mask. I'm I accept so many commissions for a long time because every occasion is interesting for me to make it.
So,
First time only paper mache.
did you ever make them out of leather?
The leather is I make it later after 1095-97 for first time because leather is more long.
Yeah.
Very necessary making one model in wood. Slowly I have more times because the first time I don't have it times.
Right.
I have so many commissions for estates. I working for New Orleans for the carnival too. Germany avevo un altro carnevale, in Swiss, insomma.
Right.
Sometimes I have 10 people working together for me.
Right.
10 students helping me for
To try to prepare for Carnival and other events.
so.
I noticed watching the video that you were pouring the papier-mâché into, so there's a mixture of paper, and what else did you use to
No, it's paper and glue.
It's just paper
Glue, yes.
But it has a kind of elasticity, some sort of, it's not just paper.
No, the mask it's 4 layers of paper and glue.
Okay.
No, c'è qualcuno anche con il cuoio insieme.
Sì, no, ma the building of the mask it's just paper and glue.
Yeah. I tried to make some papier-mâché masks, and some looked kind of interesting. I was going for a very different effect. I wanted the texture to be just really rough. But, so I made them out of pieces of paper with the flour.
Okay.
And it was very primitive. Later, I discovered mice like that.
Okay. And no, it's very important to have the good paper.
Yes.
For the elasticity and the strongness of the mask.
Yeah. So, when you were young, were you attracted to masks?
Quando eri giovane eri attratto dalle maschere?
I am young, about 14 years. I live in Sardinia. I'm fascinated to all the church in the country. Have so many masks in stone in this church. There's one church from 1200, Romanico Pisana, the style. So many masks in wood, in stone. First experience for me is the same material, the stone. I make it, I'm making stone, the first stone.
So you made a stone mask?
Yeah.
First, wow.
Yeah.
That would be heavy.
First is the stone.
Yeah.
Because it's the instrument, un martello è un cacciavite. It's very simple, the instrument for in my home, my father had un martello like this, un cacciavite. It's very simple, like this. Yes, first instrument, cacciavite. I make it. Now it's more than 52 years, 53 years exact of the times making mask every day. My daughter, she have 45, is about to At 16, 17, she worked, she helped, she continued, and no
Alice,
idea.
Did you want to? What was it like growing up surrounded by this world? It's not normal for most people.
No, yeah, but for me it was, when I was a child, it was different from the other, from my friends to spend time in a shop like this.
Right.
But for me it was very natural and familiar,
Right.
not something so different.
Is this the only location the store has been in?
Yes.
I can tell. It
Yes.
feels like it has so
Yeah.
much history
Yes.
just on the walls. And
Yes.
I'm sure there are masks that have been here the whole time. When you started, you just sometimes would do things for
See,
Papa?
I spend, my summertime working here, spend, just for, at the beginning, just for take some money from, for my vacation, for do something. And when I finished school, I just decided that I try to do it like a job,
Right.
and yeah.
I noticed both of you just keep working on masks.
Yeah.
It's like this seems like something you do all the time.
Yes.
It's like when you're not doing anything else, you're working
Yes.
on a mask,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. Do people ever express fear about the mask? Do they
See,
get
sure.
what?
See, yeah.
Why do you think they do that?
Maybe because you can find here, or when you see a mask, so many different feelings and expression, and maybe something that is also on you, but you cannot express, by yourself. And maybe sometimes it's a little bit weird to see something that look at you with different expression, with different feelings. So it's something that you have on you, but you cannot express. So, I think it's for that, And here we have more than 5,000 masks, so it's strange sometimes,
Yeah.
To
If you're alone in
Yeah.
here, do you start to feel something like?
for me it's very natural. For me
Yeah,
it's very
Nice. Yeah. All these faces looking at you, but they're not.
See.
They're not. It's not like store mannequins or something.
No, yeah.
So.
No? Qualcuno ha paura, no? Delle maschere.
So many people don't like to come here. Sometimes the wife say, let's go for looking. No, io ho paura. Ok. The husband, uno entra e l'altro non entra.
Yes. Well, that's something that I think a lot about. And it's something that has actually been growing. People's fears of masks, of puppets, of old dolls, of old Halloween costumes in America, which were just made by hand. Yet at the same time, these same people might collect dolls of monsters.
Ah, okay.
But they're franchise entertainments. Everyone knows who this is.
Sì.
But these contain, I think these kinds of masks contain something very old.
Sì.
And I think what people are afraid of is the old.
Sì.
So.
Sì, lui stava dicendo che sempre di più adesso c'è la paura delle cose vecchie, no? Quindi della bambola vecchia, della maschere vecchie, delle costumi di un certo tipo. Lui è molto interessato a questo fenomeno, a questo tipo di
reazione?
Sì.
But sometimes people is very fascinated this atmosphere. That people come here looking for a long time, so many faces looking you. It's another one word. I think people like entrance in another one atmosphere, because in the street every day same situation, bus, car. Come here, stay fascinated, stay look. Ma è una reazione naturale, ma qualche volta paura come dici Paolo in inglese?
Sì, scare. Scare a little bit to...
I understand. Yes, the word in English is being used more and more as creepy.
Sì, sì, sì.
But it's an expanding word so that even older people now are kind of creepy. Children are creepy, which I don't understand.
Sì, sì, c'hanno una parola in inglese che si chiama creepy, che loro usano un po' per tutto, anche i bambini oppure gli anziani, cioè è uno spaventoso un po' diverso, non c'è una parola in italiano uguale, però sì, sì.
I think also they see so much digital entertainment that they, this all has this almost plastic feel, whereas these things, each one feels completely unique, and I think maybe that sense that, I mean, everywhere I look, it's not the same face over and over, but it's a different one.
Sì.
Allora, you look at so many different faces because every years for long times I have so many occasions to make a new model for Venice. Every years change the theme, the Carnevale.
Right.
I remember I make it for one carnival in Venice. I make it Medusa, Bacchus, Satyr. Another one here I make the sun and moon. Every year is very different. In this moment in my studio, in my laboratorio in Via dei Pepi, I think is 500 or 600 different mold in plaster. I know using every time the same model because now you use just one little part, the face, because very complication. For example, in this moment, I don't have time for make the paper mache, the Anubis.
I know. Anubis, yes.
I don't have in this moment. It's necessary print, but sometimes I make now I work in another one project to the like steampunk, the atmosphere like this. I work in this direction. Alice work in another one direction. The decoration.
Where did you? So you came up with the idea of putting the little gears and clocks and things on there?
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. I noticed that, like, there was a Jesus Christ back there that had, and I thought that was very fascinating.
I work more in this time, more in the decoration because there are so many forms.
Right.
Not necessarily make a new model, but using same form for experiment the material, the decoration. This is the in reality in this moment the work.
This almost feels like something like Alice in Wonderland.
See, the idea is that one mask can be every different kind of expression. So one animal can be the classical natural color of the animal, or a carnival mask like
this is
this
like
one.
Arlecchino pig.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
But we do the same mask in the steampunk decoration. So with this decoration, it changes
You call
completely.
this the steampunk style?
Yes, and change completely the character of the animal. So the idea is that one with one subject you can make so many different characters. So
has the business improved with the internet?
See, yeah, in theory, yes, but we are just just me and my father. So we love to work in the shop and talk with the people. So,
do you have also students who work for you?
Yes. Yeah, sometimes. Some period of the year, yeah.
Well, you have classes, right?
Yes.
And who can take part in those classes?
Everyone. Everyone.
And so the online site, which I will link, is the best place for them to find you. So if they were coming to Florence, say,
yes,
I saw that you have one class that's just like a few hours in an afternoon.
Yes, 2 hours of decoration class. So I give you one mask ready for decoration, and you learn many different kind of decoration, of technique, classical technique of decoration.
Do you have longer courses?
Yes, there is another one of 2 days where you learn how to print a mask with the paper mache and then you decorate it, and the second lesson, and the 5 days classes where you may create your own mask from the beginning.
That's nice.
So with the clay, the negative in plaster, the paper mache, and the decoration.
Well, I
so
think
all
some of the people who watch this interview on my channel will like that. And
yeah, that one is
what
very
I try to
interesting.
encourage also is when people travel, don't just. Someone told me that there's a 3-city tour: Rome, Bologna, and Florence in one day.
Sì, no.
And it's just like, how can that be possible?
No.
I mean, I've been here for 2 weeks and
No,
I
che
feel...
lui incoraggerà quello di 5 giorni, perché lui ha anche letto di tour che ci sono, che fai in un giorno Firenze, Roma, Bologna, cioè ma che si fa? Cioè bisogna dare il tempo alle cose per godersele, no?
Yeah, it's insanity. And I've been here 2 weeks and I feel like I'm just beginning to see a little bit.
Yes.
You know, and
Sì.
Well, that's why this place, as soon as I saw this, I said, I walked in, I said, okay, this is it. I'm now beneath the surface of Florence.
Sì, no, it's true. I agree, because everything is going so fast now, everything.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I think when people use their phone for everything, and it's like, and it's addictive. And I think that you need to touch things
sì.
in order. I mean, life isn't, obviously there's more than that, but I think that people today are so used to just touching their screen and doing all of that they don't realize you really have to touch and hold things.
No, but we see the people that come here that, years ago the people come, look all around, bring the mask, try, put it on the face. Now they come with the phone,
right.
make the video, make the photo, and then go away.
Yeah.
So
well,
no using the eyes.
don't use the eyes, don't touch anything. Just make the video,
exactly.
take the photo, and just go away.
I noticed this many years ago. I used to live in New York City, and for a while I delivered artwork to different places, and we were making a delivery away from the city. So we stopped at this beautiful place looking down on the Hudson River, and this other car drives up, the people get out, take a photo, and get back in the car. And I said, when were they going to look at this when they get home?
Sì, that is this one, yes.
Yeah.
You are here, look at now.
Yeah.
No, that is, sì. Anche lui aveva la stessa esperienza quando aveva a New York uno studio, vedeva la gente che scendeva di macchina, faceva la foto e andava via. Diceva, se sei qui guarda l'ora, no? Non te lo guardare dopo a casa nel telefono.
This is the idea now is very strange, because non make attention to make it to looking, make attention for stay in Instagram later. Allora, what is this? The relationship between you and the front at the front of you? What is not everyone relation?
Yes, because it's making life more abstract, alienated.
Sì.
And one of the reasons why I've been studying puppetry is because I'm saying to myself, this can only go so far. People are going kind of crazy, and I said, further into the 21st century, I think we will see a reaction towards the real and the tangible and the physical and the textures and I thought to myself, puppets would be a good choice for something like that, but also masks. Dancing is a good choice, because you can watch a dance on a video and it doesn't mean anything.
No.
But as soon as you're in the room with someone actually doing those, you say, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sì, ma it's for this reason that I teach the workshops, and I always teach the 5 days workshop for many years, just the 5 days. And then the last 2 years I start make the 3 hours classes.
Hola,
Buongiorno. See? And from that point, start change the approach on the handmade things for us. We feel at that point.
Yes, right around that period, many things began to change.
Sì.
I have a novel that I wrote right around the year 2000, and then I started to send it to people, and they said, "Oh, it's nice, but we don't do that kind of book." And they kept saying that over and over, and I'm saying, "Wait a minute. So you're saying it's a good book, but you don't sell good books?"
Sì. And for the course, it's the same. We have so many students for the full class, for the 5 days class. So many students in this. Quanti anni abbiamo fatto? 30 anni di corsi? 30 years of classes. 30 years. And the last 2 years, I have maybe just 5 of that classes. The other student was just for the 3 hours course.
Yes, and I've seen this just in my travels to different places to talk with puppeteers, and but there are places now that when I first visited a small village in Austria, I stayed there for 3 days. Everyone else was staying for 1. Later I came back and I spent 2 nights there. And everyone else was spending an afternoon.
Sì.
They were just coming and going. And,
Sì, è andato in un villaggio di marionette in Austria e tutti ci stavano un pomeriggio, una mezza giornata. Lui c'è stato 3 giorni. Ma è tutto velocissimo. Sì.
It's like people's attention span. They're so distracted they can no longer focus on anything for very long.
Sì. No, so many distractions. Everything, it's... sì. I see it. in...
I non have a teacher. By generation, non have one teacher for make it this type of work. This is the difference. And everything is slowly. I make experience to the different plaster, to different paper, to different color. Continue slowly. It's one experience non finished. The same now. The material I use so many new material all the times. I use paper and leather together now. For example, paper and leather I never used 30 years ago. But it's continued the experience. I think the experience the new generation to want to make a mask, looking in web. The information, okay, buy this paper, buy this, okay, make a one, but non continued. So many non continued because non have the good input. Because the maestro is the maestro is very important for innamorare. Innamorare is to love the work, to love the instrument, to love the atmosphere, to stay to relationship you and you, la tua creazione. This relationship non esiste in distance. Exactly. And this is the danger of this work. Why so many people stop the job and they not continue the relation. It's very important continue to relationship to touch together, to talk together. This is very, very important.
People don't spend as much time.
Not just for me, but for all the people work.
Yeah. And yet it seems to me that only by spending time can you actually show love to, whether it's the world or a physical object, working with it and spending to understand what it is, whether it's growing something in the garden or anything, other human beings. And so today people don't know.
No.
But in America and England and some other countries, there have been younger people who are saying, what is wrong with us? Why can't we?
Che vuol dire lì?
Che si domandano in America, in Inghilterra, in altri paesi, si domandano cosa non va con noi, no? Cosa c'è di sbagliato.
Yeah, they often come. I have a couple of different YouTube channels, and they often come to one of the ones where I'm asking questions about ideas, and I have videos on what is beauty and why we need it, and what is texture You know, so if you live in a flat...
I would like some earrings. Should I take them or do you give them to me?
No, if you can, yeah, you can take it.
What is texture? Which is something I never thought about until I started understanding puppetry. But the more I started researching it, the more I said, oh, we're losing it. For, you know, like the new buildings or the screens, everything is flat. But this is complete texture. It just is deep and meaningful. And it's like nutrition.
I see.
If you don't have beauty, if you don't have texture, if you don't have ornamentation, if you don't have solid materials, then you're missing something.
Sì. Sono due paia.
Tutte insieme?
Insieme? Together?
Yes.
Sì.
Grazie. Thank you.
Grazie.
But the good news is that these younger people, they want more reality. They want, what they've been given is this artificial reality, but they want more reality. So what I hope is that my little videos will say, now, you've done with this, go out and make something. Go out and do something physical. You know, make something
Che secondo
real.
lui la nuova generazione cerca più realtà, più cose da toccare, da vedere, e quindi lui questi video che fa, questi canali YouTube che ha, lancia questi messaggi, dice quello che avete fatto finora va bene, ora andate fuori e toccate, prendete con le mani, guardate bene con gli occhi, insomma spendete il tempo a farle le cose.
Sì, certo.
Sì. La sua idea è questa, insomma, di spronare. See, for me the good thing that I see on the last 2 years is that it changed complete the age of my students.
Did they start to get younger?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very.
Sono più giovani.
Sì. See, children, it's usually, but you know, the approach of making things by hand, it's different. And the teenager, that it's one of the students that I normally don't have.
Right.
I have a lot of teenagers these 2 years.
See, that's the thing, is they're feeling, it's
Sì.
like they know they're lacking certain nutritions in life.
Sì. Oh, I can feel it that it
Yeah,
it
and they're
changed
starting to feel like someone's saying, what's wrong with me? It's because you're not touching anything. It's because you don't appreciate physical art. I had a chance. I went into the Uffizi, and I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was raining outside, and I said, perfect. Rain keeps away the worst tourists. And I got in there, and I spent 10 minutes alone with the birth of Venus. Nobody but me. And I said, ha.
I see.
This is, I have a chance to look and say, oh, what's that? Just
yes.
to really explore it. And then when the first person came in was some Japanese man, I said, okay, I've got another 5-10 minutes of just him and me. But that's the importance, is to really spend time with things, to realize
yes.
you may see this picture in a book, or even worse, you may see this online, but that doesn't mean you know it at all. What I want people to do who watch this is come here. Not like a tourist thing, not an Instagram,
Sì.
but just to look and to feel years of history in one place. So here's a difficult question. What is a mask?
Allora, dice, questa è la domanda difficile. Cos'è la maschera?
La maschera è la magia, is the magic. For me, not just for me, but for so many generations, rappresenta la possibilità to stay another one personality, diventi. If you use in one mask the sun, you stay the sun. The inspiration, the mask is stay in one magic situation.
Sì, it's the possibility to be someone else, so...
I think the first property the mask in primitive times, il cacciatore che metteva la maschera dell'animale, propiziatrice, la maschera propiziatrice. Now the technological times non change this idea, cioè the mask continued the magic moment, non just decoration, but in reality tu diventi un'altra entità, cioè is extraordinary. In the technological times continued this situation, the relationship between the mask and the man together. For me, represent this. I love come to Venice Carnival for long times. I take 3, 4, 5 different masks for 1 week. Alice stay 6, 7, 10 years, or every year come together 1 week in Venice. And every day I have it something different. I have one mask, the beard, I remember my gold, one moon. E Alice make the costume before come. E she make quella storia della tovaglia. It's very interesting because it's possible stay magic moment. Alice stay 6 years in one carnival come together. And Alice not touch it together. Alice slowly make one costume. Mi racconta lì la storia della tovaglia.
Sì, I just decided that I would like to be a table, a table with all the so very tasty dishes, So
Okay.
I just wear it a long white. I don't know in English, the one that you put on the table.
The tablecloth.
Yeah, the tablecloth, and I just touch it on a plate of spaghetti
Right.
and glasses and a wine bottle and the fork and I really like to show to the people that I was a Sunday table, the lunch of the Sunday table, that it's so important, in a family.
Right.
When you go on Sunday and you make lunch with all your family, so it's a special moment, for a family. So I was so proud of this costume, and I was,
Did you have anything on your face?
No, just yeah.
Right, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
On the face, I have my happiness, of wearing this costume.
Yes. And this is something very important to you. So a lot of people, I think, have the mistaken idea that the mask hides you.
Yeah.
But it's really more that the mask expresses a part of you.
Sure. Vieni Marta, vai. No, non ti... Vai. A posto, grazie Marta.
Ciao.
Sì, lui dice che tanti hanno l'idea sbagliata che la maschera ti nasconda.
No.
Invece è proprio che puoi tirare fuori una parte di te stesso. Sì, it's not hiding, but it's express one of one part of you that normally maybe you don't express,
Well, another misconception, particularly I think about Venetian carnival masks, is that people used to wear them to do dirty things.
Yes.
So that they didn't. But from my study, the people wore the masks for as much as 1/3 of the year. They didn't just wear them at carnival time, they kept wearing them. So they wore the bauta and the other ones. And they would just wear those. And it started with actually the poor people would wear the mask and the rich people didn't. And after a couple of centuries, it was the rich people wearing the mask and the poor people didn't.
Sì, che dice a Venezia, no? C'era un periodo in cui prima le mettevano solo i poveri per distinguersi dai ricchi e poi invece è stato il contrario. no? Che le tenevano i ricchi e non i poveri. Insomma, c'è vari messaggi, no? Dietro quello che vuol dire indossare una maschera.
And it was an open secret who the rich people were behind the masks later. This is one of the reasons why Napoleon said, okay, no. But by that time also you had many tourists coming for the carnival, and they were ruining the experience, which tourists, they like to do that.
Sì. Sì, che una volta era proprio diverso il significato, no? di quello che voleva dire indossare una maschera. Poi sono arrivati i turisti, il turista l'ha un po' snaturata, no? Nel senso che era...
The painting di Pietro Longhi, you remember the painting the Bauta, the Moretta, Pietro Longhi times, represent the reality situation. The mask is no carnival. In Venice, use every day, every occasion. People married, okay, it's good occasion for masquerade party.
Right.
The embassy go to Germany, embassy go to Venice, another occasion. Make a party. And
ma anche tutti i giorni senza la festa, no?
Sì. Mm-hmm. And the question is the same mask. Exact, la bauta, la larva, same mask for all the people, ricchi e poveri. It's extraordinary. In San Marco Square, the people chiede l'elemosina.
The poor people that ask for money.
Perché si vergogna, magari era un nobile precedentemente, chiede l'elemosina.
Maybe it was a rich person up before, and now maybe don't have any.
Well, that's it. Is that the mask then became I can pretend to be something.
Sì.
But it's fascinating. But and then it disappears with Napoleon and doesn't come back. And why did it come back? Was there pressure?
Perché è tornato? Cosa è successo?
My idea, the carnival. Allora, after the experience, the stop. The carnival because Napoleone Bonaparte ha proibito, eccetera. In 1979 o 1980,
sì, 1980, in the
80. If I remember exact, one director della Biennale, Maurizio Scapparro. Maurizio Scapparro is the art director della Biennale. He have the idea to make it in the progetto biennale Carnevale, nel progetto biennale, and looking for one sponsor. The sponsor is Patatina Pie. Patatina Pie is
the chips.
Yeah.
Pay $1 miliardo di lire in these times for the sponsor, because in Venice non have mask.
Right.
Non have people making masks. I stay in Florence, another one stay in Naples. In Venice have Barbaria dell'Atolle, one small store, I remember. Barbaria dell'Atolle. Me in Florence have another one, Sandro Bellucci. Beccuccio Bellucci, li confondo sempre. And I remember I go the Carnevale and people gifting me so many little masks like this.
Paper. It was
like
just
a piece of paper.
Gifting me people. I go the train after the train for going in San Marco Square. Gifting me un mazzo di queste for use for stay masquerade. Me to another one person. All the people use the same here.
Yeah.
Patatina Pie, sponsor ufficiale Carnevale di Venezia, because people don't have a mask.
Right.
So they distribute everywhere
Anyway.
this mask to all the people in Venice. So all the people without buying from someone.
Non
because
c'erano mask.
Anyone make mask at that time.
And the same times in San Pantalone Square, Giorgio Strehler. You know Giorgio Strehler? Giorgio Strehler is the maximal the maximal expert to the Italian comedy
Okay.
in Milano, del del piccolo teatro di Milano. He make La Tempesta di Shakespeare in San Marco, non in San Marco, in San Pantalone Square. Della Tempesta di Shakespeare, he make big straordinary scenography, una tela grandissima, una tela enorme, e un ventilatore grande come questa casa, e la tela si muoveva così.
See, you recreate the storm, you know, of the storm of Shakespeare with this huge scenography, with the wind and the sky, and yeah.
First time in Venice, 1980.
You know, it's the combination of people that decide to start again with this tradition.
This is my impression. Giorgio Strehler in San Pantalone make a beautiful opera. In Teatro La Fenice make Arlecchino servitore dei due padroni. In organization balli in Palazzo, ti ricordi, siamo andati con Sammy una volta a una festa in maschera. Sì. Big palace organized. Slowly, because for 200 years non have this atmosphere in Venice.
Right.
In reality, the carnival is born more here in Florence, because Lorenzo de' Medici love the balli carnascialeschi, and Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo make so many big scenography.
Really?
Is it not paper, because paper is very expensive in this time, but in the like at the stoppa, tessuto and glue, vegetable, make a big scenography for divertimento di Lorenzo de' Medici. Carri allegorici, the name is the carri allegorici, and continued for long times in Florence. 1500, 600, 700, 800, for 400 years. Stop this atmosphere of the carnival in Florence just because 1865, I don't remember exactly, 65, 67, Florence the capitale d'Italia. And in this moment, Florence transformation the architecture, the small street, open large street. It's incredible the transformation in these times for new entry. For entry the tecnologia, le bus, l'autobus, non l'autobus, il tramvai. Open le mura di medieval. Come si dice? Distrugge le mura.
They break the wall of the closed floor. Yes.
Allora, non possible make continuate the carri allegorici in here, because have this atmosphere. Allora, have the idea, go in the beach, go in Viareggio, e continuate il carnevale di Viareggio, the big masquerade party, and more the Venice in reality, because spend to make a big carri allegorici masquerade every year. This is the situation. Florence have one idea, the masquerade, more than Venice.
Right. But they don't do it now.
But people don't remember.
Ora,
now I work it together for the big party.
The last 2 years it start again.
Exactly. In Palazzo Vecchio, make 250 masks last year. This year maybe 150 for the masquerade party in Palazzo Vecchio. The name last year is Il Ballo delle Tre Regine. Delle Tre Regine is Elettrice Paladina.
Was Florence, Venice, cos'era Firenze, Venezia?
Ricordo.
Sì, comunque sì, era... Sì, now Florence start working again to this project and to
wanted one carnival revival.
Because we have also Stenterello, that it's the character of the carnival. Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, that it's very important, you know. In the
but it's not one mask; it's just one costume.
See,
Right.
it's a character. It's not
un character.
See, they represent, you know, the Florentine style, you know, the Florentine character. So
The story, just a moment. The story, the paper mache, is born here. So many artists in 1400, Donatello, make it for the first time. The Donatello, anche della Robbia, etc. This time make it paper. This is paper mache, è generico. Is using tessuti macerati to the glue for make it the tabernacoli. You know tabernacoli. Tabernacoli is
the church.
Okay.
In the church.
Why? Because in Florence, people is rich, the church, the family, making marble and bronze. But a little country, no money, produce many tabernacoli in paper. Go, Donatello, go to Padova, go to Venezia, go to this area, and export this technique. In reality, the technique, the paper mache, is born here.
Nice. Very good.
This is the reality, not Florence, not Venice.
So what do you, Alice, I will ask you, since you're the future here. He's the past, you're the future. What do you think the future is for these kinds of masks?
This is it's a big question, you know, because I hope that this generation and the next generation too can appreciate the handmade things. So it doesn't matter if it's mask now and maybe it's something else, you know, in the next 50 years. But it's very important that the people can feel in their hands the important to make something by your hands. So the construction, that how important can be to create something from nothing and just with your hands, you know, because you make the academia, you make the university, but I don't go to the academia like him.
Right.
So I arrive at this point, just look at him and make practice every day. So be patient to try and try again. So it's important.
Do you read books on masks or mask history? Or
Yes, I read a lot about about the tradition of the mask, the story of the paper mache, the story of Carnival, the story of Florence. But it's important to to put your hands on the things, and try. When I came here with my kids and just try to teach them how to do, a decoration of one mask, it's normally that after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if they don't do exactly what they want, they feel, I can do it, I don't want to do it anymore. Right. But it's so important that you wait, and see it and think about and just look around. And
the mask can't be made in a day.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
And,
so I hope that that the next year the mask can see it in a different way, like the past years. So yeah.
Well, I will use this interview to help tell others about the work of masks and things like that. I find it fascinating, it isn't. I think for most people, it's not about hiding the face. See, I also study horror films, and right now there are masks everywhere in horror films. But I think also that's because of the pandemic mask.
I see.
Which, but at the same time, we're having this issue with things that look old. In America, for some reason, clowns became evil.
Yes.
You know, and
sì, lui studia anche un po' gli horror, queste cose qui, le maschere. E lui dice adesso in America il clown è una cosa proprio terrificante, no?
Sì, sì,
e lui
sì.
non capisce, cioè questa cosa non...
Perché sono i film dell'horror che hanno fatto. I Joker, sono tutti aggressivi, aggressivi.
what did he say?
He said that it's about the movie, you know, that when you see a clown, you just think about that movie or that book.
Well, I think it's also that the clown is basically wearing a mask of cosmetics, and it's different from the real mask, but it's a kind of a mask,
sì.
And it doesn't look human, and it doesn't look like professional entertainment. That people, digital entertainment, you know, big movies and all of this. So, but what I want to encourage people is like, okay, why are those clowns becoming like that? I ask those questions. And,
sì, lui dice che il clown in realtà non è una maschera, no? Cioè è un trucco che si fa sul viso, no?
Sì.
Cioè, quindi quello che lui chiede alla gente è perché ti fa paura una cosa che in realtà non c'è, perché non si nasconde niente dietro, è sempre, il viso è quello, no? Cioè, è un trucco, è un trucco. E quindi lui dice che la domanda che lui fa alle persone è quella di capire perché ti fa paura
il clown.
Il clown, sì.
Perché il clown? È una distorsione del personaggio, perché il personaggio è un personaggio straordinariamente positivo.
Invece lui dice per loro in America invece è un cattivo intrattenitore, capito?
Perché è emblematico.
Sì.
Che diventa con la cinematografia l'ha preso, l'ha modificato, gli ha dato un altro simbolo, perché l'ha fatto diventare già nel film di Kubrick, the first Kubrick movie, the first example, this is the first clown aggressive. Sono vestiti da clown, c'hanno le lacrime, ti ricordi del film di Kubrick, come si chiamava quello? Arancia meccanica.
Arancia meccanica, sì.
È un'anticipazione del fenomeno. E poi Jackie Nichols continua perché un buono lo fanno diventare cattivo.
Sì.
Un buono. Questo però è la realtà della maschera, che la maschera ti dà anche la possibilità.
He said that it's the reality of the mask, you know, that you have the chance to, with a good face, you can become a bad one, you know. So the clown, that it's in reality, it's not a bad person, it's not a bad character, but you can be it.
È nella natura della maschera sovvertire il significato, cioè
it's in the nature of the mask that to change, you know, the reality and to be something else. So
what are the most popular masks? Let me guess.
vediamo se indovina la più popolari.
The rabbit?
Sì.
I see a lot of them.
Sì, coniglio.
Let's see. And which of the Venetian masks are most popular?
Traditional?
Sì, le più popolari, quelle veneziane più popolari.
No, sono tutte nel baule, sono tutte Cinella, Pantalone, Arlecchino.
Di commedia dell'arte, it's very popular.
Right,
so
right.
come Arlecchino, Pantalone. From Venice, the Bauta, it's one of the must, you know.
Right. I don't see any of those here.
La bauta.
La bauta.
È nel baule.
Ah, it's in the box with the...
Okay.
Prendi le mani.
That, the bauta is this one,
La
right?
bauta è una
It's the white...
Yeah.
No, it's,
No?
no, it's the white one. It's this one.
Yeah, that's what I
Sì.
mean, this one. Yeah,
Sì.
yeah. And that's very
La bauta è
good.
la moretta. Fagli vedere la moretta col bottoncino.
Ah, sì. And the,
Col bottoncino.
Yes.
la moretta.
And this is, these two are in the painting that
Yes.
you were discussing.
Sì.
And this was held in the mouth originally? Is it
Yes.
still?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very mysterious thing because then the person doesn't speak.
It's for that. They
Yeah.
wear it for don't speak.
Yeah. And
Because they listen all the, important
Right, right.
information from the rich people. And they don't have to say it to anyone else.
right.
So they have to wear this one and stay in silence.
Uh-huh. Very interesting. Yeah, of course, this one was made famous in Amadeus.
Sì, è quella famosa nel film di Mozart, no? Amadeus.
Yes. And
E
then
anche nel film di Tom Cruise, quello
Sì, in Eyes Wide Shut.
I see also some traditional demon masks.
Sì, qualche demone famoso, insomma qualche faccia di demone famosa l'ha vista di là.
Sì, ora mi ricordo quello lì, quello che c'ha qui nella guancia, quel simbolo rosso.
Ah, sì.
Eccolo lì.
Sì, ma non credo che intenda quelle, credo intenda
Ma
proprio...
anche quella è abbastanza inquietante.
What other masks do people like to buy?
The Doctor of the Plague.
Oh, okay. Yes, somehow,
Doctor,
yeah, I see
yeah.
them there. And somehow those became very popular. And I remember when I was young, no one ever talked about that. And then sometime, maybe around the 1980s, people began to talk about this
Sì,
strange mask.
della dottore della peste, che lui quando era giovane nessuno ne parlava, cioè non era così famosa.
The first time I make it, the Black Doctor, 1978. 78. I work in another one studio in Via together the Alice and Mother.
Right.
And I make the Black Doctor. I remember in this area every one conference for medical every year, 2, 3, a Palazzo dei Congressi. Conference just the doctor, the medical buy because understand what is this, the Black Doctor. Just in occasion the conference, the medical.
Right.
People travel, this looking and buy. Another one, people don't understand what is this. Now, I think after the pandemia, is so many publicity to what is this, what it represent, the Black Doctor, why the Black Doctor, because the COVID, remember the atmosphere. But for me, I make it because ricostruzione storica delle maschere tradizionali is different the project, because I love ricostruzione, same the Arlecchino, my Pulcinella, I make one Pulcinella from Antonio Petito. Antonio Petito Pulcinella mask is the best Pulcinella form I look in the world. So many people make a Pulcinella, but
Right. Why do you think Pulcinella is so... he's a very important puppet, I think, or commedia dell'arte character.
Perché?
Why do you
Perché è così
think?
importante?
allora Pulcinella in reality is very important for many times in the square, because represent the possibility in Naples to make it allora in Naples in these times 1700 have the Austria military in Naples, and non-possible touch, non-possible free movement, but in the theater, in the street, Pulcinella make spettacoli and talk in napoletano and prendere in giri il governo e i militari austriaci.
Sì, they play, about the military, about the situation.
Era libero,
sarcastic,
perché la lingua in chiave ironica raccontava
very
e prendeva
ironic
per il
languages. They make laugh about the situation, about the Austria and about.
Yeah.
E rappresenta the character di Napoli, the real character from Napoli. E Carlo Goldoni in Venice, in Italian Comedy, take it the character, the square, and stay all together for the first time in theater. In un fenomeno popolare, for the first time take it Arlecchino, take it Pantalone, take it Ballanzone, but in reality, in Italian Comedy, in teatro, Pulcinella raramente used.
Yeah, it was not usually to represent Pulcinella.
Because è un personaggio importante nella cultura from Naples.
From the south, yeah.
Edoardo De Filippo make the Pulcinella or the Tommaso Bianco, so many actors make it Pulcinella, but it's one area reservation to another one story.
See, just about the south of Italy, it's
Carlo
not.
Lorenzini uses so many Pulcinella.
Right. So, which are the Zani characters?
Lo Zanni. Che carattere ha lo Zanni? Che tipo è?
Zanni sono servi. Servi.
Like slaves. Yeah, servant, yeah.
Serving the family.
Right.
In Italian Comedy Brighella è uno Zanni. Brighella è uno Zanni. Arlecchino è uno Zanni. Because anche quando dice
Pulcinella?
Zanni.
No, Pulcinella no. Pulcinella
non è uno Zanni. No.
He's the Joker.
Pantalone non è uno Zanni, dottor Pantalone. Baldanzone from Bologna è un notaio.
Sarebbero come dei personaggi generici. Sarebbero come dei personaggi generici.
Gli Zanni sono nella commedia.
La povera gente.
Nella commedia c'è un dottore, c'è un avvocato,
Lawyer,
c'è un'innamorata, un servitore, un altro servitore, quindi servitore Arlecchino, servitore Brighella, sono servitori. Zanni, anche il carattere di Zanni è...
It's interesting to me that Pulcinella has gone the farthest, because he's in France and the United Kingdom, but he's also in Germany and in Russia and in the Czech Republic. They have a figure Kasparek, who is basically their version of Pulcinella, but he's a strange little clown puppet. But he does the same thing. He talks about the Austrian government right before the end of the Austrian Empire.
Sì, che per lui la cosa interessante è che lui tutti i paesi che ha visitato c'è sempre un Pulcinella, cioè viene sempre rappresentato come un Pulcinella del suo paese, del paese.
Certo, because the information for long times, the information Florence to Venice, Venice to Paris, Paris to another. The information go together, the car, the compagnia teatrale.
Right.
Take the information here because people never look in newspapers.
No.
Allora, the information e the character, the politica, contro la politica, la satira, ecco. La satira politica la facevano gli artisti mascherati. Because you use one mask.
And you can talk about, against the government, against the political.
Is it funny?
Sing,
Joker,
but he's saying something.
Racconta la storia contro il tiranno, sempre. E questo è lo straordinario valore della commedia, che va contro contro l'ingiustizia.
Yeah, yeah. The comedy, it's yeah.
So here's a question about Pinocchio. So to me, Pinocchio seems to be an artistic development on commedia characters.
Carlo Lorenzini from Collodi. Is born here.
Mm-hmm.
Dad here, morto qui.
Yeah, yeah.
Questo Collodi is un big business.
Yeah, yeah.
See, it's for children, you know, just for recreate
I
the
understand.
atmosphere of the story, but it's not.
People have to try to make money.
See.
Is my idea. But make big business because of Florence. This is the question. This is a very serious question. Florence, this town, non protect this town, non protect the artists from here, non protect Dante Alighieri,
Yeah.
non protect Carlo Lorenzini. Now, same. Buongiorno.
Okay, so this is finished.
Bye.
Grazie.
I'm
Grazie.
sorry for my
I am very honored. Another thing I wanted to say about the Venetian masks is that a lot of people have this idea that they were only used for Carnival. And that's not true. I have a book that I read last year, year before, and it was all about the use of the Venetian masks. And they were used approximately almost a third to a half of the year. They were elaborate. They did not follow a specific set of rules. At the beginning, they seemed to be worn by the people who were just the street people, and then the nobles did not wear masks. Later, it all switched around so that the nobles were wearing masks and the people on the street weren't allowed to anymore. Also, during the carnival seasons, more and more people were coming as part of the carnival revelries, particularly to Venice, to take part. And this was creating problems because they didn't have the same etiquette as the Italians and Venetians did while wearing the masks. Eventually, this became such a problem that when Napoleon arrived near the end of the 18th century and took over certainly the northern part of Italy, he outlawed the masks. And here's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. The mask culture went underground and didn't resurface till, I believe it was, I asked him, maybe it was 1978, 1979 was the first carnival that had the masks again. And I talked with him about that. So we will go and deal with that. One of the things, okay. Well, I'm very grateful to Agostino and Alice for giving me some of their time, and I wanted to let you know that Alice teaches courses in mask making. Now, one of the problems is that since travel has become this, race to see as much as you can, and so people don't feel they have time for things anymore, she does do an afternoon version of the course. But she says, ideally, it's the 2-week course that is much more profitable. And if you're watching this channel and wish to take the 2-week course and go to Florence and do that, I highly suggest doing that in 2-3 weeks. I'm not sure exactly, but you can find out. There's a link to their website below, and just go ahead and write her, and you can arrange something. And I'm sure it would be a great skill to learn. So when I left talking with them, I felt that I had discovered something. I had seen all the great, not all, but okay, stop there. I had seen many great works of art in Florence. I've been to many museums. I was there for 2 full weeks. I was not being the alienated tourist who feels they have to do as much as possible. I was simply taking my time. I went back to the Uffizi Gallery twice to really look at the Botticellis and the Leonardos and whatever else I could. I wanted to understand why the Renaissance happened, what had happened during it, what was the effect upon me today. So I wasn't there just simply to check things off the list. But I felt there, when you go to a place where tourism is so central to the society, to the city, to the location, the destination, you often feel there's a veil between you and the work you're going to see, particularly when there's so many other people who want to look at the same things. And fortunately, I had a great time of year. I got to spend 10 full minutes alone without anybody else in the room looking at Botticelli's Birth of Venus. And then a Japanese man came in and he was there for a while. So it was almost like 20 minutes alone with the Birth of Venus and Botticelli. I felt so blessed. But I still didn't feel I got to the heart of the city. I had met friends there, Northern Italians, a few Venetians, a few Florentines. But when I went to this mask shop and studio, I felt I got to the heart of the city. I felt, now I'm talking to people who understand the history of the city. Now I'm connecting with people. And that is the point of traveling. This is one of the reasons why I love investigating puppetry, because I skip all the stuff that tourists are doing to go straight to something that relates to the heart of what it means to be someone from this place. And that was just an amazing, amazing thing to realize. And so it made me want to go back. And if you had asked me at the very beginning, do you think you're going to go back to Florence again? I said, no, this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I felt that especially after climbing all 463 steps of the Duomo and getting to the top of the bell tower. But instead, no, it wasn't the bell tower. It was the dome. Instead, after talking with them, I felt like, oh wow, I want to come back here again. There's more. I felt I didn't see enough. There's even spending 2 weeks. I have no idea how a person goes to Florence, spends 2, 3, 4 nights, whatever, and sees anything. Because you're just going to be running around, and the human brain can only take in so much visual stimulation before it starts to get tired and everything starts to look like just, okay, another work of art, great. But I highly recommend, if you go to Florence, and I'll put the address below, I don't think I'll be sending too many people there. If I thought all the crowds were going to go there, I wouldn't recommend this. But instead, I am going to recommend this because the people who watch this kind of video, there'll be 1,000 people tops, maybe more, maybe less, doesn't matter. But out of all those people, only a small fraction will ever think of going to visit Alice's masks. And out of those people, they all won't arrive on the same day. And they will all have an absolutely amazing experience. So I wish that upon you. Well, thanks for joining me today from, I'm in Tbilisi, Georgia, another great city for puppetry. Once we get through our political issues right now, which one hopes we will. But I would like to just invite you to go exploring, go look for puppet theaters, go look for mask makers, go look for dance and ballet and folk music, go look for real things when you travel. So from Tbilisi, Georgia, this is Byrne, where they say Nachwamdis, goodbye, and droibit, which means temporarily. We will meet again.
Rozkalím hlavy! Bude konec vaší slávy!